You're listening to iLive Radio.
iLive Radio.
iLive Radio.
Changing the way you listen to radio.
It's iLive Radio UK. This is Get Amplified with me, Charley Jai. I'm going to be with you until 7 p.m. I hope you're good. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. The weather in London town is booming, and currently there's a good service on all TfL lines. I mean, is that impressive or is that not impressive? And on the M25, you've got no congestion, no problems at all. What a good day it is. So the focus of today's show is mental and emotional well-being. I'm so psyched for this show. This is something that a lot of people I know can benefit from. There's so much talk about it online at the moment, so I thought it would be very apt. And I'm very chuffed to let you know that I've got an expert coming into the studio today. I've got Andrea Corbett, performance and mindset coach. She's also a confidence coach. So she's going to be coming in, and we're going to be talking all things mental health, and I'd love to hear from you. You can stay anonymous if you feel you need to, but I would love for you to get in touch for yourself or on behalf of somebody else to see if we can help you with anything today that you might be going through. It might not be related to mental health, but it could be to do with your emotional well-being. So we would love to hear from you. So here's how you can get involved. You can jump on the website and talk to me via the live chat stream, uk.iliveradio.com, or you can call me live on the show 0208 638 8503, or you can send a text to our WhatsApp number 07564 265 257, and it's iLive UK across all social media. Time for some music to kickstart the show.
Shake it fast. Watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. Shake it fast. Watch yourself. Shake it fast. I came here with the mic in my hand. Don't make me leave me with my foot in your. Be cool. And don't worry about how I'm ripping. This is what I'm picking, what I'm flipping. Cause this is what I do. I'm effervescent and I'm out there crescent ass. This a full-grown German shepherd. You better keep stepping. They don't mess with me. And they down. Y'all can't catch me. And they wild. Pay your bill, fix it, throw that. My Prada for my Bunabas and Donna for my babuts. You think I'm tricking? Well, I ain't tripping. I'm buying if you got nice curves for your iceberg. Bringing here, I'm not gonna like you, do something to me. Hope this indecent proposal make you do something with me. Forget $1, girl, pick up 50. Forget that coward, girl, you need a real feeling. Off top, the Knickerbockers hurting me. Up and over, girl, show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, watch yourself. Shake it fast, show me what you're working with. Shake it fast,
all your boys and fams right now in the place to be. I thought I told y'all dudes before, y'all dudes can't mess with me. Now this ain't fun, no small booties, no stir, cause that won't pay.
Show me what you're working with.
If you feel you got the biggest one, then mama come shake it fast.
Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast, show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast, show me what I like my woman fire like I am. Chocolate and bowling, when I'm running up behind. Go ahead, do your job, pop the lock. A real girl don't lie, you know that you won't go back to my house. The man right here won't get under that dress right there. You spicy Cajun, we gon' pass a good time, yes, yeah. Got a head on them there crawfish. You gotta been all the way over the dance all this. Handle your business, but I know you do it way better. You're dead wrong. So if you talking about it and they make noise and you can pass by, girl, get your fine self on the floor. This your song. Do your thing, don't be scared. Cause you gon' get served. Forget mine, then you gon' get jerked. To make you love it. Raise it up to show you G-string. Hustle, hustle.
Attention, all y'all plays and fams right now in the place to be.
Shake it fast.
I thought I told y'all dudes before, y'all dudes can't mess with me.
Watch yourself.
Now this ain't fun, no small booties, no stir, cause that won't pay.
Show me what you're working with.
If you feel you got the biggest one, then mama come shake it fast.
Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast, show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast, show me what stop your crying, heifer. I don't need all that. Got a job for you to braid it up, pimp his back. Break them handcuffs, forget your man. Move something. And if they ask you what you doing, say, ooh, nothing. Now we've been doing the past two something. And I'm beating the stuffing up, not smooth, loving. And you can bet your bottom dollar. If it's fire, you gon' holler back and top. So don't act like you don't be bagging that stuff up. your girl in the club, cause that's what you got back for. Wobble, wobble, I'm infatuated. The girl work that thing like she making the baby. And I see that we gonna have to go to a quiet corner for just us two. Don't worry about who looking, just keep on doing what you doing. So a brother like me gonna get to work before I know the girl. Trick what's happening, let them see, show the world.
Attention, all your players and pimps right now in the place to be.
Shake the face.
I thought I told y'all dudes before, y'all dudes can't mess with me.
Watch yourself.
Now this ain't fun, no small booties, no sir, cause that won't pass.
Show me what you're working with.
If you feel you got the biggest one, then mama come shake it fast.
Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. Shake it fast. Show me what you're working with. Woo! Lord. Yeah.
That I like it when you call me buddy, but it seems like baby, that you've been seeing another chico. And baby, you know that he can't go down like me, but you know that the nigga can't freak like me. So mommy, tell me one little thing, how deep is your love for me? Tell me what it's gonna be. Do you see yourself when I tell like me on the low, so your friends won't know. Tell me what it's gonna be. Do you see yourself when I tell like me on the low, so your friends won't know. When I keep looking at me, Puerto Rican I see the way you wiggle it, the way you move your body. He can't make it get wetter than me, but I bet you keep telling you he's better than me. Ooh, you know that he can't go down like me. You know that he ain't no freak like me. So baby, tell me one little thing. How deep is your love for me? Oh yeah. And all I ask is that you keep on loving me. And mommy, you know there will never be a cheaper white like Cisco. So I'm alone.
Te extraño mucho. Ven aquí, papi morenito, y dámelo duro. Dámelo, papi chulo.
Like me. show me your love. Love like this before.
If you got more hair, get your hands up. If you got short hair, big noise. If you got more hair, get your hands up. If you got short hair, big noise. If you got more hair on your head, ladies. If you got more hair on your head. If you got more hair on your head, from your ear to your sleeve, even if you got a weave out.
Engine number 9 on the New York Transit line. If my train goes off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Let's go. Who's fucking tonight? Who fucking tonight? Who fucking tonight? Out, out. Who fucking tonight? Who fucking tonight? Who fucking tonight? Out, out. Stop playing, keep it moving. Stop playing, keep it moving. Stop playing, keep it moving. Keep it moving, moving. Sing along. Hey, oh, yeah. Hey, oh, sing along there. Hey, oh, hey, oh, ladies, hey, fellas, oh, ladies, hey, fellas, oh, ladies, hey, fellas, oh, ladies. Come on, come on, come on. Sing along, everybody now.
I never knew there was a love like this before.
All the ladies, if you're in here, I need to hear y'all. Yeah. Word up, Batman Scoop, Brooklyn Clan, DJ Knuckles, King Smooth. Out, out, out. Go Batman Scoop. Yeah. Brooklyn Clan, Batman Scoop. Brooklyn Clan, Batman Scoop. Brooklyn Clan, Brooklyn Clan, Brooklyn Clan, Batman Scoop. Brooklyn Clan, Batman Scoop. Brooklyn Clan, Batman Scoop. Brooklyn Clan, 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 Clan,
Wow, I went in with the tunes. You know, sometimes I don't remember what I've actually lined up to play on the show, and I'm not even sure I should be telling you that, but I was going in with my little moves. Be Faithful, Fat Man Scoop featuring Crooklyn Clan. Before that, you had How Deep Is Your Love, Drew Hill, and at the top of the show, Shake It Fast by Mystical. Now, this is Get Amplified. It's a positively driven show, but as I always say, we don't shy away from keeping it real and keeping you up to date with what is happening in and around the UK. So I'm just going to give you the headlines. I'm not going to go into the stories because they're just too negative. I mean, the news is always negative, but it's important that I keep you in the loop. So currently, the main headlines are that there are testing problems. Of course there are, with the tests for coronavirus. I think currently, if you want a test, you can go online, right? I think it's via the NHS website. But there might not be a testing centre local to you that has any appointments. For example, one woman in London was told that she could get an appointment at a centre in Liverpool on Tuesday. I don't know what the government are doing here in the UK, but that's what's up. So that's hit the headlines. And it's for the Health Secretary, Man Hancock, to actually deal with that, but we'll see what happens. Families mingling, as of yesterday, would be breaking the rules. So as of the 14th, Monday the 14th of September, there's this bizarre rule that you can mingle, you can socialise, socially distance, it's so weird, with 6 people who don't live in your household outside. But any more than that and you could potentially get arrested, and people are being encouraged to tell on their neighbours if their neighbours are seen to be socialising with people inside their home, even if it's in the garden, with more than 6 people. The interesting thing is when you travel on public transport to go to the shops and boost the economy, to go to work, for example, there are more than 6 people around you who don't live in your household. So what's the UK government saying? And I could go on and give you more examples of that, but I know you get it just as I do. So I do think this is really bizarre, but because people are up in arms about it, of course it's hit the headlines. Also, young people are hit the hardest as unemployment rate rises. It's terrible that this pandemic is hitting people in that way. I don't even know what to say or what to suggest, apart from try and keep your spirits up. There are still opportunities out there. So suck up the situation as much as you can. Get online and get searching for what it is you really want to do. This is an opportunity to take a moment and think, what do I really want to do? Instead of just getting a job to pay my bills, even though that's important, it's more important that you start to do whatever it is you need to do and want to do that is in line with your purpose. So take this time to just have a pause, have a think, what do I truly want to do? Jump on Google, do a search and try and apply for anything and everything that is in line with exactly that. And the last one that I'm going to share with you that's hit the headlines is that school figures show that 88% of students are expected to be back for the start of term as of this week, according to the news that's in front of me right now. Again, I don't even want to talk on it. It's just bizarre what's going on. I do understand that, no one's in control of this pandemic, but I do think that the government are making the wrong moves. It's just not smart, in my opinion. You're confusing everyone, you're causing more panic and hysteria, and you're also causing for more conflict amongst people. That's not cool. But those are your main headlines for the UK, technically England as well. But we're going to focus on more positive things now. So normally every week I have the happy news. And this week, because I want to focus on mental health and well-being, I've got performance and mindset and confidence coach Andrea Corbett coming in. I thought I should make the entire show focused on such things. It might be really helpful. And I know actually that doing the research for the show this week was super helpful to me. So I'm going to kick off with men's health. I put that at the top of my list. I've said on a previous show that I often feel like men just don't have enough by way of support, by way of encouragement, and open supportive spaces where they can freely talk about the things that bother them, in particular their mental health. Men seem to be affected far worse than women, probably because women, we talk, we're encouraged to talk. Men don't often have that privilege. So I'm starting with men's health. And this one, I assume, and maybe I'm wrong to assume, but I assume that most men are aware of this. But the reason I've popped this in here is because a particular male friend that I spoke to several months ago wasn't aware of this. He was telling me about some symptoms that he was experiencing, and I was like, it could be this. And he had never heard of it. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about hernias. So a hernia occurs when an internal part of the body pushes through a weakness in the muscle or surrounding tissue wall, and it usually develops between a man's chest and hips. So most men with hernias will develop two symptoms: a dull pain or ache and a bulge in the groin or scrotum. The symptoms usually develop gradually, but they can sometimes begin abruptly and be quite intense. The only way to effectively treat a hernia is through surgical repair. However, whether or not you need surgery depends on the size of your hernia and obviously the severity of your symptoms. So it is so important that if you, and I'm talking to you as men, if you are suddenly experiencing any kind of pain in your chest, your hips, especially in the groin area, you just need to get yourself to your GP for the next available appointment. And if nothing is available for a week or so, you need to go to A&E. That's what I would say. So that's a hernia, Hernia. If anybody doesn't know and wants to get to know, you might know a guy that's been experiencing some pain and he just keeps brushing it off. Tell him to get himself checked, okay? The next one is mental well-being. And again, this is under men's health. And this is just a quick one because it's quite sad and I don't really want to stay on it for too long, but I think it's important to highlight it. So in England, around 1 in 8 men have a mental health problem. However, some men are reluctant to seek support for their mental health, which is well documented, or disclose mental health problems to loved ones. So here's the thing. We can never and should never assume that because somebody is behaving a particular way that they might be experiencing poor mental health, but it's a possibility. I can't advise you or even suggest how you would approach that person with that directly. So perhaps what you could do is what I sometimes do. I always turn it onto my mental health, if that makes sense. So if I think a male friend is going through something to do with poor mental health, I will start chatting to him about my anxiety and just see if it opens, any kind of dialogue about what he might be going through. And whilst I'm having that conversation, I'll throw in some information that I know about charities just in case. Because even if that guy is not going to open up to me, at least I've given him some useful information that should he actually need it, he can utilize it. So some charities that you may find helpful to speak to about your mental and emotional well-being include Mind, MIND. I'm pretty sure a lot of you would have heard about it. And their support team do have a direct number. There's a lot of people that don't seem to know about that. It's 0208 215 2243. So that's the charity called Mind. Their support team direct line 0208 215 2243. Also, Samaritans, a big one. We all know about Samaritans. You can contact them, 116-123, 116-123, or you can email Jo at samaritans.org. Jo at samaritans.org. And I believe the response time is within 24 hours. And just a side note, you can remain anonymous. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give your date of birth. You don't have to give any information other than talk to them about what it is you're experiencing, even if you don't know how to articulate it, just because these people are the best people to help you. That's what they're there for. So that's the Mind Charity and Samaritans. Do go to Google and research anything that we mentioned on today's show. This just so that you can fact check and know what might be applicable for you or somebody that you know. So moving on to women's health now. Similar to a hernia, which we have already discussed as being a condition that men are more prone to, women can develop fibroids. Okay, very similar, but also very different. And I happen to be one of those women, unfortunately. So I began experiencing pain and discomfort, saw changes in my body, weight gain, etc. way back in 2007, I want to say. I think I was 27. And by the time I was 32, 2012, I was diagnosed with the condition. So it's a long, horrendous road to get that diagnosis, but finally I did. And I learned along the way that fibroids are non-cancerous growths that develop in or around the womb. And the growths are made up of muscle and they vary in size. So it's not a one-size-fits-all with women. You don't know how big these things are going to be or how small they're going to be, etc., etc. And also many women are unaware that they have fibroids because they do not have any symptoms, but that is not directly relating to the size of your fibroids, just as an FYI. Quite annoyingly, no medical professional has been able to identify exactly what causes fibroids, but what they do know is that the growth of fibroids is connected to levels of estrogen in the body. They also grow rapidly during pregnancy when hormone levels are high, something I didn't know myself. The only time they tend to shrink is during menopause. So with regards to my journey and all of the research that I did, the consultations that I've had, and God knows how many hospitals now. Shout out to my mum, Diana, because she's been with me every step of the way, attended every single appointment, asked every single possible question, and done her own research. So shout out to her. But there were surgical options that were put before me. Medication to shrink the fibroids, but pre-surgery. And the surgery that I was told that I could have, the only option apparently for me, was to have a hysterectomy because I have 7 fibroids and the largest one at the time was 14 centimeters. So far too large to do that. Oh, the surgery beginning with L. I can never remember it. But essentially they insert an instrument, I think, into your belly button, and they manipulate whatever they've got to move out of your body so that they can cut it out, if that makes sense. But yeah, they offered me a hysterectomy and I was like, absolutely not, because I'm fully aware of the side effects of a hysterectomy: loss of libido, depression, and so many other things. So I decided to do even more research. Has there ever been a woman anywhere in the world who has survived fibroids, who has lived with fibroids? Who is she? Where is she? What did she do? And to cut the story short, essentially I needed to exercise, but do certain types of exercise and change my entire lifestyle / diet. So that's what I began doing in, I want to say, somewhere between 2015 and 2016. And now in 2020, at the grand old age of 40, your girl is doing good. I was popping medication like my life depended on it. Ibuprofen, literally 7 days a week. That was my life. And now I probably take ibuprofen once every 5 or so months. Like my it's just so different. You don't even know that I've got fibroids unless I actually tell you or show you. So it is possible to live with them. But if you don't want to, then there are surgical options. I'm not sure that you would necessarily know as a woman if you've got fibroids. I would say if when you are outside of your menstrual cycle, you are experiencing severe pain in your abdomen seems to be quite swollen and inflamed, it's possible that you have fibroids. So I would make an appointment with my doctor. I really would. Moving on quickly to children's health. So this information is taken from medicinenet.org. medicine.com. Apologies, all of the previous information was just from my head, which is why I was like, there's no source for that. But medicinenet.com is where I've got this next batch of info from. So a healthy child's development begins before conception, which we know, with the parents' health and their genetic legacy. It continues on to conception and through the prenatal period. But unfortunately, even the healthiest baby can get sick, a fact, again, that we all know. So it's worth knowing the signs and symptoms of the common childhood illnesses, as well as the treatment and prevention of these illnesses, which you can research further online. There are a number of common childhood conditions, such as ear infections and tonsillitis, which may be unavoidable. But children are also subject to other preventable diseases, such as the serious and potentially lethal infectious diseases prevented by immunizations. Also, children may be born with health problems, for example, a cleft lip, which is evident at birth, but equally some common birth defects such as heart malformations. They may not be immediately apparent. It's really important to do as much research as possible so you can spot the potential signs of any ill health in children, which will enable you to act promptly. I personally don't want to have children, and that's one of the reasons. I've talked about it before on my blog and in an interview that I did, because people are always really shocked, and I never know why. But as much as I love children and work with children, I just find that this world has way too much darkness in it, and it has always put me off. From I was a young child, it's always put me off from having children of my own. So I just couldn't cope with any of that. And I want to say a shout out to every single parent out there who has stood by children that have difficulties, because it's not easy. I see people raising their parents, but you know, when you have children raising their parents raising their children, but obviously when you have a child, especially, you know, unexpectedly you've got this child and they've got this disability, it can be really, really challenging. So shout out to all of the parents everywhere doing remarkable work to just make the best of a challenging situation, for want of a better way of putting it. A reminder of those charities that you might find helpful to speak to about your mental and emotional well-being. Mind and their support team can be contacted on 0208 215 2243. The Samaritans, they can be contacted on 116 123, or you can email joe@samaritans.org, and that's joe@samaritans.org, and there's a 24-hour response time. Remember, you're welcome to join in with today's show. We would love to hear from you. I know that when my guest gets here, Andrea Corbett, who's a performance, mindset and confidence coach, she would definitely love to hear from you or take your questions live on the show. So do feel free to get involved if you want to. You can do so via the live chat stream on our website. It's uk.iliveradio.com, or you can call us 0208 638 8503, or send a text via WhatsApp 07564 265 257, and we are iLive UK across all social media. Gonna give you a chilled out tune now.
I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Tell me how you love me more, and how you think I'm sexy, babe. That you don't want nobody else, you don't want this guy, you don't want that guy. You wanna touch yourself when you see me. Tell me how you love my body, and how I make you feel, babe. You wanna roll with me, you wanna hold with me, you wanna stay warm and get out of the cold with me. I just love to hear you say it, it makes a man feel good, baby. Tell me you depend on me, I need to hear it. I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost perfect shape. Baby, you're the perfect way. Treat me like my birthday. I want it this way, I want it that way, I want it. Tell me you don't want me to stop. Tell me it would break your heart that you love me in all my dirty. You wanna roll with me, you wanna hold with me, you wanna make vows and get Norwegian word with me. I just love to hear you say it. It makes a man feel good, baby. I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? 'Cause you will tell me every morning, ooh, alright, baby. Oh, yeah, oh, baby, oh, darling, alright, right. I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Ooh, yeah, oh, baby, oh, all right, right. Oh, baby, oh, darling, ooh, baby, all right,
Last night I had a dream of a beautiful day, and like a song, an angel passed my way. Was the embodiment of perfection, with skin like the sky, and her hair was as long as time. And then she turned to me, with her big proud eyes, her voice flowed like water, and it brought a tear to my eyes. And she said to me,
"Oh, star, oh, you come so far from where you started. Don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world. So, star, oh, you come so far from where you started. Don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world. So, star, oh, you come so far from where you started. Don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world. So, star, oh, you come so far from where you started. Don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world.
For real.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I've been trying to call you all day, man. Where you been?
Nah, it ain't like that. You been with me all day. I've been trying to call you.
Word. Really?
Yeah, I got the flowers you sent me to my job. That was beautiful.
You like that?
Yeah.
Cool. So,
How was your day?
I mean, it was kind of hard at the office today, but I got back.
Hey, okay, that's cool, but I gotta go. He coming upstairs.
Oh, word. Oh, okay, cool.
Hey, I love you.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Love you need is already here.
Put it in cruise control.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Why you wanna look for love? In the wrong place.
I know you better than you know yourself, and I hold you higher than I hold myself. And what I told you, it was just to make you up. I try to mold you, but you keep going for self. I had you on such a high pedestal. Did things for you I said I never do. Gave you my hand cocked, it wasn't legible. And the love we had, it was incredible. But you know I had to move on, I guess. Something was going on, people was in my lawn, talking on the phone, telling me I did you wrong. And that was just not the norm. I see now everything you said, did you really mean? Cause everything I said I still mean now. You can make the frown and all the crying sounds, but this is how it's going down. I'm telling you now.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there.
What?
Love you need is already here.
Why you keep fooling with him then?
Love you need is already there.
Then I can say whatever I want. I'm a grown man. You gon' end up back with me anyway.
Tell me what you want from me. Take a look at what you see. Let me know if this right here's something you could have for years. Tell me what you want from me. Take a look at what you see. Let me know if this right here's something you could have for years.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Love you need is already here. Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Why you wanna look for love?
Ain't it funny how honey's now trying to find love in the club? Good girl with a thug, and it's making me bug. They don't want someone to lose their life and be with somebody that'll do them right. To put yellow in their ear, put pink in their wrist. No worldly man would ever think of this. When I'm gone, you'll make a wish. You'll dream all the days you could think of this. I only wanted to make sure that you had everything I got. Make sure that you had everything inside. Since I got it all, you could even have mansion with a lab. Put something in your bag. Don't let me be the one to hold you up, but go tell him it's over now, the time is up now. You know I got a message to the world. I ain't here to mess with you, girl. You can relax.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Love you need is already here. Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there.
I tell you what, love don't act like that. I'm telling you now, love don't act like that.
Love you need is already there. When you need it, I'm gonna be there. Love you need is already.
That's Mace featuring Rashad on that one, The Love You Need. Before that, Music Soul Child with Soul Star and Robin Thicke with Lost Without You. You're locked in listening to Get Amplified on iLive Radio UK. The time now is 4:45 p.m. and I'm with you until 7 p.m. Hope you're enjoying the show and loving the vibes so far. You know how we do. I'm certainly loving my own vibes and it's all about the music. This week's show, if you're just joining us, is focused on mental health and emotional well-being. I've just given you some information about men's health, women's health, children's health, and giving you some information about charities. But I'm going to give you the information again. Mind Charity, the support team number is 0208 215 2243 or the Samaritans 116 123, or you can email joe@samaritans.org. And like I said, there's a 24-hour response time on that. So what I want to know from you, if you want to get involved, you can do, is what is something that you are worrying about? Could be anything, could be health, finances, home improvements, family issues, work-related matters. The current times, the pandemic is something stressing a lot of people out. Could be relationships, romantic, friendship, colleagues, family dynamics, anything. Your social media presence, some people worry about that. What has you worrying on a daily basis? Let us know, and we shall see if we can offer any possible solutions for whatever madness you are going through. And we all go through a madness, me included, so nothing is to be felt embarrassed about, folks. So if you want to do that, here's the information you need. Again, it's uk.iliveradio.com if you want to chat to me live on the stream. It's 0208 638 8503 if you want to call in live. And if you want to send a text, it's 07 564 265 257, or just jump on our social media. We are iLive UK on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even YouTube. We got you covered. So like I said, with the focus of today's show being mental health and emotional well-being, I'm really looking forward to speaking with my guest today, who has first-hand experience of a lot of things that you actually might be dealing with. And she's come a long way with learning how to manage her well-being, her mental and emotional health, and she now uses her expertise to help others, and that's why she's here. Andrea Corbett is a mental health advocate, a mentor, fitness enthusiast, and she'll be sharing tips on healthy living. So I'm hoping that you're going to stick around for that. Just to give you a quick update on the news and traffic and everything that I shared with you earlier, there are no changes. I can't believe it. The lines are fine on TfL, no reported congestion or delays on the M25, and the news remains the same. The focus is the pandemic. Okie dokie. I want to get into some recommendations before I speak with my guest, but I also want to play some more music just because I'm loving the vibes so much. So here is, what should I play for you? Here is Looking at You by Sierra.
Stop moving, yeah. Let's ride.
Ladies, make it hot. Thugs, make it hot.
Get it crunk from beginning to end. Get on the floor, make it bump more. Shake it, mommy. Stop moving, yeah. Let's ride.
Ladies, make it hot. Thugs, make it hot.
Get it crunk from beginning to end. Get on the floor, make it bump more. Shake it, mommy.
Cause everything about you says you're my type and I love it. So good to see ya. Cause everything about you says you're right and I like it. I can't take my eyes off you. Oh, you got me thinking what I might do if we leave here together. Ooh, homie, you're so fine. You're on my mind. You're kinda hot. You got my attention and it takes a lot. Baby, you turn me on. I'm not gonna let you alone. All I wanna do is get to know you better. I'm a ghetto girl that can do whatever. They say it's all good. Come on, I wish you would. I'm looking at you, me and my girls and your homeboys too. I can dig that cause I'm into you. So act like you hear me cause I'm hollering at you. So come on, baby, I'm looking at you. Me and my girls and your homeboys too. I can dig that cause I'm into you. So act like you hear me cause I'm hollering at you. So come on, baby, I can hold you down if you let me. Baby, I'm a rider. Ooh, baby, and I'm a good girl. And how I'm rolling, you can't live without it. Let me break it down. Now your last girl, she's in the past, girl. But if I'm next, I swear I'll be your last girl. Now don't you go thinking I'm a fast girl, but I'm that girl. Oh, you're kinda hot. You got my attention and it takes a lot. Baby, you turn me on. I'm not gonna let you alone. All I wanna do is get to know you better. I'm a ghetto girl that can do whatever. They say it's all good. Come on, I wish you would. I'm looking at you, me and my girls and your homeboys too. I can dig that cause I'm into you. So act like you hear me cause I'm hollering at you. So come on, baby, I'm looking at you, me and my girls and your homeboys too. I can dig that cause I'm into you. So act like you hear me cause I'm hollering at you. And I know you're getting bored. Yes, you will. I can see it in your eyes that you need a girl who's gonna have you right by loving you, baby. I said it's real, how I feel. I won't let you hide from me, cause I know that you're so right for me, yeah. You, me and my girls and your homeboys too. I can dig that cause I'm into you. So act like you hear me cause I'm hollering at you. So come on, baby, I'm looking at you.
Yo, this is Voltio and Jagger Edge. Que pago más, ya tú sabes. For all the ladies on the world, they amazing. Que pago más.
Y'all know what this is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I've been around, but I ain't had nothing better than she leave me sick, but she served me with the medicine. She from the bricks with them thugs be peddling. Something so sweet, really come from these streets. The reason why I like it, cause she ride my beat. Not too much conversation, keep it short and sweet. She's something like a model, shaped like a Coke bottle. Gotta be full throttle if she ride with me. In my Cadillac, it don't matter where we at. It don't matter. She don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. Sex so good, I feel like a on the deck, in the back, she don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. And it's so hard to believe she's so amazing. Analyzing like Rio, keep her on the phone, checking in like a P.O. Speaking of my heart, just to be muy frío. She trying to warm it up to keep me out the car. She do me every day, but she just my freak. You can try to get her, she won't even speak. She find a way to keep my guard down like Eve. She's so amazing. She ain't on the page of a romance book. She's so amazing with every look. Keep my heart racing every time she come and open my passenger with my Cadillac. It don't matter where we at. She don't give a damn. She's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. Sex so good, I feel like I'm changing. On the deck, in the back. She don't give a damn. She's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. And it's so hard to believe she's so amazing.
Demasiado de muy sexy. When she talk to me, make me crazy. Esa es mi mami, that's my baby. Me tiene loco, me tiene lazy. Asombrosa, poderosa, demasiado voluminosa. Muy hermosa como rosa, pero peligrosa. Conmigo es que ella goza, es la cosa. Cuando su piel con mi cuerpo ella rosa. Su flow, su belleza, me encanta como besa. Mi dama, me mata cuando ama. En sí lleva mi nombre, no existe otro hombre. Diabla vestida de mujer, me eriza la piel, maliciosa y dulce como la miel. Si en ella está el infierno, voy a quemarme en él. Así que rompe, menea el bumper. Con el permiso, caballero, no estorben.
It don't matter where we at. She don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. Sex so good, I feel like a play. A poppin' tap on the deck, in the back. She don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. And it's so hard to believe she's so amazing.
All around the world. Let's go. All the ladies around the world. We talking to you.
She don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. Sex so good, I feel like I'm playing. On the deck, in the back. She don't give a damn, she's so amazing. She do me right and we keep on blazing. And it's so hard to believe she's so amazing.
That's right.
You're listening to Get Amplified with Charley Jive on iLive Radio UK.
Try to get intimate, even though they know I really ain't into it.
You're not into it?
I'm not into it. I already know the game and I've been through it. See, I buy my own bags, my boots, my jeans. Will I rock with my rebel yell underneath? You wanna step to me? Since you got a long way to go. Rock with me, claim that you're so hot. And you say you got skills in the bedroom. You try to front for you so mad. Had a chance, you still never come through. You say you wanna come see me, cause you know your girlfriend wanna be me. I'ma tell you why you can't. Since you got a long way to go. Say you wanna love me, wanna touch me. Think twice cause you got a long way to go. Don't know how to act, how to fall back. It's like that cause you got a long way to go. It's not that deep, take it easy. You know please me, I got a long way to go. I'm a bad girl, you wanna get close. It's up cause you got a long way. I love it when they
try to get scandalous, even though they know they really can't handle it.
They can't handle it?
They can't handle it. Trying to take me out to dinner, I cancel it. If you really want to know me, first of all, you should never try to get too personal, cause I meant it when I said you got a long way to go. Yeah. You claim that you're so hot, and you say you got skills in the bedroom. You try to front when you're so not. Had to chase you, still never come through. You say you wanna come see me, cause you know your girlfriend wouldn't be me. I'ma tell you why you can't. You got a long way to go. Say you wanna love me, wanna touch me. Think twice, cause you got a long way to go. Don't know how to act, wanna fall back. It's all back, cause you got a long way to go. It's not that deep, take it easy. You wanna please when you got a long way to go. I'm a bad girl, you wanna get close. Ease up, cause you got a long way. You claim that you're so hot, and you say you got skills in the bedroom. You try to front when you're so not. Had a chance, you still never come through. You say you wanna come see me, cause you know your girlfriend wouldn't be me. Yeah, said you got a long way to go. Say you wanna love me, wanna touch me. Think twice, cause you got a long way to go. Don't know how to act, gotta fall back. It's okay, cause you got a long way to go. It's not that deep, take it easy. You know please me, you got a long way to go. I'm a bad girl, wanna get close. Hands up, cause you got a long way to go. Wanna love me, wanna touch me. Think twice, cause you got a long way to go. Don't know how to act, better fall back. It's like that, cause you got a long way to go. It's not that deep, take it easy. You wanna please me, you got a long way to go. Yeah, said you got a long way to go. Rock with me now. Got a long way to go. Yeah. Better fall back. Said you got a long way to go.
This is iLive Radio UK, and you're listening to Get Amplified with Charley Jai.
That's right, it's iLive UK Radio. You're locked in listening to Get Amplified with me, Charley Jai. Why is it 5 p.m. almost already? I'm with you until 7 p.m. My lovely guest is in the studio, Andrea Corbett. And if you've just joined me, we're going to be talking all things mental health and emotional well-being. I know it's a big deal at the moment. We've just finished doing Digital Detox that was launched by I Am Whole UK with Jordan Stevenson from Rizzle Kicks and Zoe Sugg, who is the most famous British YouTuber. And actually, it's a great campaign. I do encourage people to get involved, but you don't need to jump on that campaign to know to take time out from all things digital, social media, your devices, and all the rest of it. It can do wonders for your mental and emotional well-being, just switching off from all the chaos that's online. So I'm going to be speaking to Andrea Corbett, and I'm so excited. She is an advocate for mental health. She's got a wealth of experience. She recently launched a new initiative as well, so I'm going to be talking to her about that. But she is a mindset and confidence coach. So it would be great to hear from you guys, because she will have some tips for you. It's Get Amplified. Keep it locked. I'm going to come back on the other side with my guest.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
This is Lisa Banton, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Hey, this is music producer Reggie Marks, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way that you listen to radio.
This is Miracle Thomas, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
The time now is 5:05 p.m. You're locked in listening to Get Amplified with me, Charley Jai. Going to be with you until 7 p.m. You just heard in the ad break all the details you need to get involved with the show if you want to. If you're worried about anything from your health to finances, work-related matters, the pandemic, your social media presence even, then let us know. Before the ads, you had Long Way to Go by Cassie, Jagged Edge with So Amazing, and Sierra with Looking at You. It's time for you to be introduced to my lovely guest. Her name is Andrea Corbett, like I said at the top of the show, and she is a mindset and confidence coach. Hey girl.
Hi, good evening.
How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Good, I'm good. It's good to have you here.
And you're looking good, I have to say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really looks
Thanks so much. So you and I met years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know what year that was.
So many years apart, so many things have happened.
Yeah, all I know is that it was an event, and it was Shanuma Kashta that was the reason I was there. I can't remember why you were there. And I know that I wasn't impressed with whatever was going on, but I thought, you know what, hold it down, Charlie, just go and sit in the lobby for 2 minutes. And when I went and sat in the lobby, that's when you came in, another lady came in.
Wasn't that at the end though? We had...
Yeah. So I mean, it was at the end, and I was like, let me just sit for 2 minutes and not like, let me just see if I can network with some people. If I didn't do that, we never would have met.
Yeah, because I know we started talking and then it just started to build up.
Yeah. All these women just came from nowhere. And I was like, okay. Yeah. It was brilliant though, because we had a very healthy discussion. We exchanged contact details and we've stayed in touch. And I love that. And even though, we don't necessarily communicate all the time, we're very supportive of each other on socials. Definitely. And we've watched each other just kind of grow from what we were doing back then to what we're doing now, which is amazing. Yeah. So, I'm mentioning that because I want to start off by saying congratulations to you, because I know it is not easy out here to navigate your way through life and then find a way of creating something to help other people navigate their way through life. So let's start with just a little bit about you and the career path you've been on and how your just things that have happened in your life has contributed to the path that you're on now.
Well, thank you for the introduction.
That's all right. Well deserved.
Likewise. So my career path, so my background, I'm a qualified school teacher, secondary school teacher, in fact head of department, because I feel like when I say teacher, I'm not amplifying myself enough, because I wasn't, no disrespect to teachers, we all do a great job. Head of 2 departments, so business and finance, and I literally started that I graduated in 2005.
Wow, congrats.
And resigned in 2015.
Ooh, long time though.
Yeah, but prior to 2005, I was actually doing like after school and before school clubs, just because I just liked working with young people. Yeah, lovely. I was literally forced into becoming a teacher. It's like, do you do the PGCE? No, I don't want to. Do it. No, I don't. Oh God, just to keep you quiet, I'll do it. And I'm so glad that I did do it. So it's nice when other people can see your abilities when you can't always see them. And it is good to listen to people sometimes because they got your best. Most people have got your best interests at heart. And the people that were guiding me and encouraging me to do my PGCE had my best interests at heart, and I'm so glad. So the reason why I say that is part of my journey and part of my story as to where I am now. So I graduated in 2005, loved the job, even though, like I said, it wasn't something that I planned to do. I remember when I went to my first job, I went to my old school. Why are you here? I'm actually on the other side of the staff now. So that was good. So my teaching since 2005. Got to head of department quite quickly because my good friend Latoya, who we're still in contact with now, she went to have maternity leave, and I took that place, and it's like when she came back, there's only way up now. Why am I going to go back down like, to the second in charge? So I left from there, and then that's when my journey through head of department began. Wow. And it's
incredible. So from teaching to everything, because you've done quite a lot in between. You've done competitions, with bodybuilding and everything.
So that's just the teaching journey.
That's what I mean. You've overhauled your life. It's completely changed. Literally. So how did you then go from teaching to what you're doing now?
So from teaching, as I mentioned, I resigned in 2015. And the resignation didn't come because I had planned to resign. The resignation came because also in 2015 I was diagnosed with a mental health illness. I literally broke down at school one day in February, and thankfully it was after school, so no students were there at the time. But even today, someone asked me, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why do you think that happened? And I said to him, it's hard to actually answer that question.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint it and say, oh yeah, it's because X happened or Y happened.
Right.
I think it was just a collection, a combination of so much things happening in my life, like being with the wrong partner, feeling that you had to be with somebody. I've got a son who's now 23, but at the time he was a teenager.
Right.
And being a single parent and being head of 2 departments.
Yeah. It's all on top.
And I said to him today, it was not knowing that the shortest word in the dictionary, no. So when someone asks me to do something, instead of saying no, it's like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
So being a people pleaser.
Right.
And I feel like I had a breakdown first and not knowing.
Yeah.
And then it just all got on top. And
is it okay for you to share with us what the diagnosis was?
No, I'm very open about that. As you mentioned in your introduction, I do a lot. I'm an ambassador for
brilliant ambassador.
And I do that because we need to educate others, and I'm an educator. And especially the black community.
Amen.
It's something that's not spoken about. And I always say that the reason why I wouldn't have diagnosed myself with a mental health is because I wasn't educated. I didn't know. Like, now I know what the signs are. Right. I can tick them off. Like, yeah, I had that. Oh, I had that. Start doing the bingo. Like, oh, yeah, I had that. Yeah, that house. You know? And I can joke about it now, but I know it's not a joking matter. But so for me, it was a case of I had all these different symptoms. I had so basically going back to your question, it was depression, anxiety, and I was having panic attacks as well at the time. So that was my diagnosis basically. And like I said, I wouldn't have necessarily said that was the case for me. But now when I look back, I was, for those that are wondering what were some of the signs, I was drinking a lot.
Wow.
Like, literally.
Okay.
And some people would have
as a coping mechanism.
Do you know what? Now when I think about it, yes, but looking back, it was, you told someone, I just had a bottle of wine last night, and they will laugh it off because that's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of people do. Oh yeah, well, you're doing marking work, and it's like a thing. Yeah. Binge eating. Wow. So I didn't realise that was a sign as well. When I say binge eating, I mean buying family packs of crisps, popcorn, or not knowing, going into the store, not knowing which one I want, and just buying all of them, and literally I wouldn't go in the house and do it. I'll sit in my car and actually eat. So I actually got a post on my Insta where when I looked under my car seat, there were all these packets.
Really?
Like, it was really bad.
Can we pause for a moment? When I met you, however many years that I met you, was this the time where you were going through that, or had you come out of that?
Oh no, so when I met you, it must have been after 2015.
Yeah. I feel like that event was 2016 or 17.
Yeah. So it was literally it was still raw, but and this is the thing as well.
The only reason I ask is because never when I met you would I have thought that your energy was everything. Like, I was drawn to you as you were drawn to me, and I was like, I need to talk to this woman. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know who you were. We were smiling at each other, then we had such a great conversation. So I just want to take off the hair that I don't have on my head to you, because I mean, you held it down. And
I don't know whether that's a good thing or not sometimes. And I call it the I'm fine mask. Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. And then I would go home and literally whip the mask off and open up a bottle and, bring open the crisp or whatever the case may be. And be in my 4 walls. And unfortunately, it was only myself. And I say unfortunately because my son was the one who basically had to go through all of my pain.
And he was young at the time, as you say.
And didn't know how to express that to anybody. And that led to its own issues as well. So him having to see this and not knowing what was happening to mum not really being mum. And I say all this as well, and it's a lot to be said in just such a short space of time, but people need to be aware of the fact that yes, I was diagnosed, but it affected not just myself, but affected
there was a ripple effect.
Definitely a ripple effect. And it was an even bigger ripple because I didn't actually tell anybody for at least 2-3 months that I actually was diagnosed.
Oh wow.
So despite the fact that I was off work sick, oh, why are you home? Oh, I'm not feeling well. And everyone bought that story.
Did work know? Were they aware? Okay.
Work knew.
So why did you feel that you could tell work and not maybe your loved ones?
Because I had to tell work.
Wow, okay.
Like, I had to give him the sick note. So it wasn't the case that I wanted to. Yeah. I had to. So they had to know why I wasn't at work. But I didn't have to give anybody else a sick note who had to know. And like you say, because I had that, you know, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just not feeling too well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know what to say. So I'll take you back to that day. So from what I remember, because there's a gap that really just
it's blank. Yeah.
So I remember going to the doctors so when I had the breakdown at school, the lady in HR, I went to see her because we was very close anyway, and so I was like, something's happened. I just couldn't stop crying, and she said, I think you need to go and see a doctor.
Was that the only thing that happened in that time that meant that it was a breakdown? Was there anything?
That's a good question. So I wasn't marking my work, the school work. So when a young person says to you, like, Miss, where's my work?
Yeah.
You know, and when you hear me laugh, it's not a laugh. I don't find it funny, but it's just, you know,
it's a shock still that you went through that. Yeah.
And when they ask you, where's my work? You know that there's a problem there, because I was going home for every evening. Oh, I'm going to mark the work. Then that evening, after a bottle, the work never got marked. I'm going to mark the work. And one thing that really got to me and annoyed me the most about work was the fact that my line manager was seeing this going on.
Okay.
And never once did he say, are you okay?
Yeah.
So those 3 words are the 3 words that when I work with my clients and my young people, the young people are adults, the first thing I say, are you okay? And even down to yesterday, one of my clients, I said, are you okay? She goes, oh, thanks for asking. And then I go, that's the question I asked, the first thing. Before even saying hello, like hello, or obviously hello, are you okay? How are you? How's your day?
It's so important.
So important. So that was one question that was never asked of me. For like, they never asked me. And I feel, and I look back and I think, if they did ask me, what would I say? And hindsight, I don't know what I would have said, but maybe that might have been a way in to say I'm actually don't feel right. I don't know what it is, because I didn't know what it was, but something's not right, and no one asked me, like, are you okay? And I say school because they saw me obviously with the work wise, because they
saw things changing.
My appraisals were going down and so on and so forth. So, but outside of work, it's that I'm fine. No one didn't see what was really going on. You know, and prior to that, the partner that I was with, I was arguing with him all the time, and like literally coming to, like, if it was the other way round, people would have been at him for the way how I was behaving. Now when I look back at how I was behaving, and I'm not proud of this, but like I say, this is all part of me educating other people. If people are listening and they may be going through something similar, they can know that they're not alone, and that they should go and seek help. So it's not a case of I'm trying to glorify what I've done. Not at all. It's literally due down 100% education. So I was, like I say, if it was him doing it to me, people would have had a problem. And now looking back, that was part of my, you know, the illness. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't know. So going back to that, still diverted off of the doctors. So in the doctors now, I went there. The first time I went there, explained my symptoms, what I was going through. He said, all right, take 2 weeks off and then come back again. 2 weeks off? How am I going to take 2 weeks off? Like, just take 2 weeks off from work.
That's all he said?
And then come back. I was like, the sound of taking 2 weeks off, I've never had such a long time off from work unless it's holiday, and even then it's never a holiday because I've always got work to do. So I said, okay.
But there's nothing in there as well. I kind of feel like when you go to the doctors and they tell you, you know, this is what you need to do based on what you've told me you're going through, it's like, okay, that's what I need to do, but what do I do with that? So I'd be the same. Taking 2 weeks off. What do I do in those 2 weeks to help me with what I'm going through?
Exactly.
It's remarkable the way some of these, so-called medical professionals work.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's another reason why I didn't know what to say to people. What doctor just said take 2 weeks off. He didn't say much after that. So what else did he say? What did he say? Did he give you a diagnosis? No, he just said take 2 weeks, and that's literally what he did.
It's mad.
So fast forward the 2 weeks, gone back again, and then more questions, answered these questions, and then he says, I'm going to diagnose you with a mental health illness. And you look at someone, because he just said it so cash.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what does that mean?
What does that
actually mean? There's no definition after that. It's like as I was supposed to know what he meant.
Yeah.
And then again, I make a disclaimer. What I'm about to say is not in jest. It's what I actually thought. I looked at the door and I thought that people were going to be coming in with a straitjacket.
Yeah, I can imagine.
My only thoughts about mental health was that, what you see on TV and all the rest of it. So that didn't happen. It's like, okay. Then he says he's going to just prescribe me with medication.
Mm-hmm.
Then he hit me with, so when you take this medication, you're going to go down first before you go up.
Whoa.
I looked at him and I was like, how much further down am I supposed to go? And what does that actually, what does it mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
So once again, he's giving me a diagnosis without a definition, giving me medication, telling me the symptoms of that medication, but not really giving me a definition or telling me instructions about what it actually means and how I can manage it and how I can deal with it. So, okay. So I'm literally left from there. I don't know if I was worse than what I actually went in.
Yeah.
On the way home, thinking, what am I going to tell my mum? How do I explain what he's just told me? Because he hasn't explained anything to me, so I don't even know what to explain to anybody else.
Especially because I imagine, in terms of what's going through my head and what has gone through my head when I've dealt with similar experiences with loved ones, is the person who's going through it wants to understand why am I going through this, what has happened, what has been the trigger, why did I not realise, why can't I manage it? You've got all of these questions, and if a medical professional can't tell you or put you on the path to learning about that, you feel worse.
Exactly.
So I totally understand you saying, what do I tell my mum?
What do I do?
Because your mum's going to ask, why is this happening?
Yeah. So that hence why I didn't say anything to anybody, because I actually really didn't know what to say. So I'm sick. I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
And I was taking the medication because the doctor, when you go to the doctors, you feel like you go to the doctors.
Yeah.
They're the professionals.
Right.
They give you the medication to make you better. But again, a disclaimer, that is not always the case. Like, some people do need the medication.
Yeah.
But this is another.
What was the effect on yourself?
I did go down, but
what did that look like in your case?
Oh gosh, I don't. Do you know? To be fair, it was just a lot more like tearful.
Oh wow.
Lonely, suicidal thoughts.
Really?
So
prior to the medication, had you had suicidal thoughts before?
No.
That's interesting.
No.
That you've gone in and explained to the doctor what's going on with you, how you're feeling, and he gives you a medication, and he says to you in his words, you're going to go down before you come up. He doesn't disclaim anything else, but one of the effects was you then started to have suicidal thoughts. Now imagine if he wasn't here today. When we go back to that doctor, what's he going to tell us?
Exactly.
My mind is blown.
Yeah. So my saving, so that's a good lead point for my saving grace.
Yeah.
So I was advised when I did go back, when I had to go back for some more medication, like use physical activity. So that was another thing. Like, what are we talking about? Physical? I'm not overweight. What now? What's wrong with me now? Why are you telling me my blood levels up, my cholesterol? You know, you just don't.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Lack of education when it came to physical activity prior to 2015. It's like, what's physical activity going to help me with?
Yeah.
But I said, okay, let's try this out, because my thing was, the doctor again is telling you to do this, so it must be some form of good use for you. So and the way how I looked at it was that I was down already, I really need to bring myself back up because I'm a mother. I've got my son to look after, and I'm seeing certain things that are going on, and it's just not how it would have gone on if I was okay. So I followed that instruction.
Did you come off the medication at this point then?
No.
Oh wow.
No, and I was still drinking as well.
Oh,
another thing that you just,
Andrea, like my heart is going. I can't believe I didn't know any of this.
No one knew, and I have that conversation. People are like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And once again, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
And this is why I do these talks, because it will hopefully resonate with somebody, and they can know that they can say something.
Please say something. Something.
And so, again, I'm diverting, but it's all part of the story.
The journey, yeah.
An elder once said to me, he's like, why do you want to chat your business? When I first started doing the talks, and it's like,
yeah, I get that.
It's not about chatting my business.
Right.
It's about educating other people. Because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Especially someone from the black community, someone that people can resonate with, the community that is more hard hit with mental health than any other community. You know, I'm not out there, my face is not everywhere, but if I can just get to 1, 2, 3, whatever more than I could do if I didn't talk, then that's my job. Not done, but that's my job.
Yeah.
Okay,
and so by sharing your story, like you said, you're educating, but by educating people, that's how we help.
Exactly.
Once you have an understanding of something, you know how to best navigate your way through it. If you don't know and you don't understand, you can go down a really dark path, and sometimes there's no coming back from that. So chat your business.
Exactly. So the way how I see it was like me standing up in front of a classroom, talking to a new class of year 7s that's just come in and don't know a subject. Of course, you got to tell them, right? You got to educate them. So that's what I'm about. I'm about educating. And so going back now to the gym status, so gone to the gym, seen some people there that were working out all the time and looked like they were happy, and I was like, okay. So I started to talk to them, and they were doing bodybuilding competitions, and so I thought, this sounds so. I did me being an ICT teacher, I started doing some Googling and checking it out, and I found a show, and I said, I'm used to setting goals. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'm going to set myself a goal. I don't know what this is about. I don't know where it's going to lead to. I tried to look for other black bodybuilders, black female bodybuilders, but they were mainly in the USA.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. Like, what
so
have I got
good.
to lose?
Yes, so good.
Well, that was my reason for getting up in the morning, for getting dressed, because there would be mornings where it's like, I can't be asked. What's the point? What is the point? And now I had a point. I had a reason. I had new friends.
I had motivation.
Yeah, and literally, I say this in quotes. I was happy, and I say it with a low voice, because at the time, once again, I thought that you couldn't have a mental health illness and be happy. So I didn't, and because I was off work as well, I thought that if work ever found out that I was happy, that I would need to go back to work.
Right.
Once again, and I keep saying the lack of education, because at this point I hadn't educated myself yet about the facts around mental health.
And you're not. I mean, at the time you wouldn't have been alone with that. And right now there are still some people that think it's not possible to be happy if you're depressed, or if you've got anxiety, or even if you're schizophrenic. People are really lacking education.
No, definitely. So my whole thing was, okay, I'm going to be in the gym. And that's why my social media really, looking back, I was like, I wish I had started taking more pictures and more videos about my journey. But my journey wasn't about social media. It wasn't.
But also, that's not where your mind was at. You were focused on getting well. You were focused on your child and things going on in the home. You weren't focused on that.
So that's what people are like. So how come your journey? Because I wasn't about, let me take a picture. It wasn't for the gram. I didn't want to put anything on the gram, because I'm thinking if anybody from work sees this, they're going to be like, why are you at home? Why are you not at work?
Yeah.
And now I've come to realise and understand, and I've educated myself that you can be diagnosed with an illness, and for a set period of time you can be happy. But it doesn't mean that you're well enough to go back to work. It doesn't mean that I was well enough to go back into the classroom, like how many times a day, manage a team, organise a curriculum. I wasn't well enough for any of that. So that's why I was off work sick, but you was okay to do a show, because it was me in the gym working out. It was my safe haven, and so having to explain that to people got a bit tedious, but once again, it's all about education, right? So that's what I'm there for. So I did my show, and lo and behold, I won the show. And that
I remember seeing those pictures.
That was literally a showstopper.
So cool.
Like, they actually stopped the show, and I started to cry, and the judge came up on stage and was like, why are you here? I don't take this as a natural show as well, because I'm a natural competitor. And I was like, I don't even drink protein shakes. And basically what it was, they were moving me to a different category, but I was crying so much into hysterics that I wasn't listening to what he was saying. So bless his heart, sugar. We're still good friends up till now. But so that was just basically my journey into bodybuilding. But I was still on my journey, beginning my journey of a mental health illness. And
so by the time you completed this period of your life, so you've gone down the let me get fit and healthy, let me do the gym, let me see if I can improve just my general well-being, my happiness, my mind, etc. You've done this competition, you've won this competition, you're still going through the other side of things with your mental health. But how did that impact your mental health and your well-being in a positive way, or did it not?
Oh no, it did. That's what I said. Maybe I said it made me happy. I was I'll give you a quick joke. So when the doctor told me about endorphins, I was like, you're giving me more medication. I know it sounds so stupid now, but I have to tell people, because it's like, that's reality. And that's what I was thinking. Like, sometimes I say things that probably doesn't make me look too smart, but I don't care. That's just
are who you are.
That's who I am. And so now I know exactly what endorphins are. And, it makes you happy, that good feeling effect, the good feeling hormone, and it really did. I really felt the effects of the endorphins, and just the dopamine as well. I've gone to the gym today, I'm going to go again tomorrow. So it really does help. So there was a lot of positives, and now looking back, I probably could have utilised them a lot more. Okay. But that's all hindsight. And again, that's why I'm here, to show people how to utilise that while you're in that place, how to utilise it a lot more. So bear in mind, this is only a couple of months. This sounds like years and years and years. Yeah, it does. This isn't only like a few months after.
That's how committed and dedicated you were. And I think actually, maybe you didn't know at the time, maybe you did, but probably what was driving you more than anything else was the fact that you're a mum. It's probably what has, saved your life. I want to give the listeners and ourselves a little bit of a break. I personally need some water, and so you must do, because you've been chatting more than me. I'm going to play some tunes for you guys. When we come back on the other side, I'm going to continue the conversation with Andrea Corbett. If you're just joining us, we are talking all things mental health and emotional well-being. Andrea is a mindset and confidence coach, but she's been on a journey herself with the battle of mental health, and so she's sharing that with you today by way of educating you and hopefully inspiring positive change with yourself, your loved ones, and the wider community. You're locked in listening to iLive Radio UK. The show's called Get Amplified. It's 5:33 p.m. and I, Charley Jai, am with you until 7 p.m. Stay listening.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.I. Guess who's back? Still doing that shit, Andre? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Check me out. It's still Dre Day. AK. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck when I'm on the block. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. How? My last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps change, they wanna know how I feel about it. You ain't up on pain. Dr. Dre is the name, I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaf, still with the beats. Still not loving police. Still rock my khakis with a cuff and a crease. Still got love for the streets, reppin' 213. Still the beat bang, still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change. Still, I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them lolos, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters
gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR. Since the last time you heard from me, I lost some friends. Well, hell, me and Snoop, we dipping again. Kept my ear to the streets, signed Eminem. He's triple platinum, doing 50 a week. Still, I stay close to the heat, and even when I was close to defeat, I rose to my feet. My life's like a soundtrack, I wrote to the beat. Street rap like Cali weed, I smoke till I'm asleep. Wake up in the AM, compose a beat. I bring the fire till you're soaking in your seat. It's not a fluke, it's been tried, I'm the truth. Since turn out the lights from the world-class wrecking crew, I'm still at it, after mathematics. In the home of drive-bys and acmatics, swap meets, sticky green and bad traffic. I dip through, then I give you the DR.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. It ain't nothing but mohawk shit. Another classic CD for y'all to vibe with. Whether you're cooling on the corner with your fly, lay back in the shack, play this track. I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
I'll break your neck, damn near put your face in your lap. Try to be the king, but the ace is back.
So you ain't up on things.
Dr. Dre be the name, still running the game. Still got it wrapped like a mummy. Still ain't tripping, love to see young blacks get money. Spend time out the hood, take their moms out the hood. Hit my boys off with jobs, no more living hard. Barbecues every day, driving fancy cars. Still gon' get mine regardless.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE.
Like that? Right back up in you. 9-5 plus 4 pennies. Add that shit up. DRE. Right back up on top of things. Smoke some with your dog. No stress, no seeds, no stems, no sticks. Some of that real sticky, icky. Ooh, wait. Put it in the air. Boy, use a fool, DR.
Yes, Naya. Cool na aya. Who am I? It's just a girl, them sugar. Alright. Here I know. Whoa, na 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 na. Oh, na 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 na. Sim Simma. Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls, them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my truck. Who am I? The girls, them lock. And I, we make love to precious. You ever buck a girl with deep like a bucket? Draw for your niggle like your niggle can't stitch it. Draw for your oxen like a cow, you wanna chop it. Draw for your pickaxe like a gun, you wanna dig it. It's like a riverside up on the bank and you take it. It's like a bicycle, so you hold it and that's it. So you watch it, so you crash it. She a tell you, say you grab it. Girl, she a beg you wanna ball, take me stop it. Batman plug in and me a move like a electric. It's like a basketball, she take time out to vomit. Listen to me silent, listen to me lyrics. I been a man, they and me a drop it. I said, Simma, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls, them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my trucks. Who am I? The girls, them lock. And I, we make love to pressure. Anything she want, I will give it unto she. I can't believe today my friend them tell me that she flee. I don't believe he's angry and I don't believe his grief. I don't believe it's Susan or the other girls I need. The love for me she have, that is the only thing I need. I don't intend right now just to lose my main squeeze. Oh, Guantanamela, you a killer. Girl, you watch you on me body under pressure. Man, see your body all a kill mosquito. When your body right, just to know you got the power. But Simma, Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my truck. Who am I? The girls them lock. And I will make love to precious stuff. I tell myself I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my guiding star, my shining light. I love you, baby. But that day you leave and you're gone, I know that girls, they going crazy. I know the girls love song, all of them are run come, cause the one of them want this, baby. I told you once and I told you twice that I am the girls, them sugar. Now the girls them a chop me and the girls them a rush me because them a driving the Beamer. And the girls them flavor, I'm no slaver. I am the helper, no helper. And a girl loves watcher, I want to hear her. And listen when the DJ say, Sim Simmer, pass me the keys to my Beamer. Oh my, the girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my trucks. Oh my, the girls them lock. And I will make love to precious Sim Simmer. Who got the keys to my Beamer? Oh my, the girls them sugar.
Oh no! Well, the whole I know about her, now 2,000 families scared and crew me and say, hey, well, hey, I will tell them, so well, this is Red Rock, hey, sure. Yeah, man, I rush around the clock, you would have think she a run pot shop, but anytime you see a Chris can't stop, just look at Charley in a that car, Charley in a pretty car, she see me in a Lexus and a die, I know a friend tell me she not stop crying, say she want piece of me body, and a lie, Charley in a pretty car, she will see you in a Benz and cry, just me rude boy, me not tell a lie, she will want piece of your body, go from she little bit and that's a bus front teeth, she a fight a big sister them for front seat, she know when every car sound clash a keep, she a love man over topless Jeep, well, she have a fault when she see money in a Lexus, then she walk out, she claim she not take bus, she did have a preload man in a Christmas, now it's a Benz man, she a ice and a love, so she a hot gas, so hot car, she a fit in a, she no want no una money, ma fi drive bima, and the way from church, she see a Maxima, show that she backslide and touch in her, she say infinity can look so divine, what if the rims them crisp and shine, fi whole tell her, she said she not have time, she see the letters and think it was mine, Charley now pretty car, she see me in a Lexus and a die, I know her friend tell me she not stop cry, say she want piece of me body, and a lie, Charley now pretty car, she will see you in a Benz and cry, just me rude boy, me not tell a lie, she will want piece of your body, hey, true, she know some artists are real big star, she want power with which we have Chris Carr, she said being him and care what they did hard, but now a general latest a card, she swear blind she wouldn't drive in a deportee, and VW is definitely not she wouldn't even take Lord of a taxi, a Benz, Bima, a Infinity, oh no, this is serious, hey, Charley in your red eye, oh no, hey, sure, yeah, man, I take her around the clock, you know that thing she around pot shop, so anytime you see a Chris can't stop, just look if Charley in a that car, Charley in a pretty car, she see me in a Lexus and a die, I know her friend tell me she not stop cry, so she want piece of me body, and a lie, Charley in a pretty car, she will see you in a Benz and cry, just me stealing, me not tell a lie, she will want piece of your body, hey, from she little bit and there's a bus front teeth, she a fight a big sister for front seat, she know when every car sound clash a keep, she a love my door for topless keep, well, she have a fault when she see money in a Lexus, them she walk out, she claim she not take bus, she did have a preload man in a Christmas, now is a Benz man, she a ice and a love, said she a hot girl, so hot car, she a fit in a, she no want no una money, ma fit drive bima.
Red Rat there with Charlene. Before that, you had Beanie Man with Who Am I? And I can never pronounce this track, so I'm not even going to say the name of it. I'm just going to say the track at the top of that segment was Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg. I'm not even going to try it. I'm not going to say the name. It's iLive Radio UK. You're locked in listening to Get Amplified with me, Charlie Jai. The time now is 5:44 p.m. and I feel so blessed, joined in the studio by mindset and confidence coach Andrea Corbett. And we've been talking a lot about her own journey with mental health. And girl, you've been dropping some information, literally. So if you're just joining us, Andrea and I go way back in the sense that we've known each other for a very long time, but I just didn't know about this side of your life. And you were saying earlier that, you know, it wasn't necessarily a good thing, that you was essentially telling everybody, you know, I'm fine, when actually you wasn't, even when you had your diagnosis. So you've talked to us about, you know, working at the school, having the breakdown, the diagnosis, and then doing the bodybuilding competition and winning that and feeling overwhelmed, of course, that you'd won that. From there, what was the next steps? Because you've gone from having that breakdown, finding ways to uplift yourself and motivate yourself and get yourself happy again, get yourself well again, and then now here you are as a mindset and confidence coach. How did that come about?
Well, there's a little bit in between that I'm going to talk about, which I think is important as well, based on what we were speaking about. So after winning the competition, and like I mentioned earlier, those that didn't hear, is that I didn't actually tell anybody about my diagnosis. Yeah. But when I did actually, you know, talk to my mother about it, the response was, wow. Yeah. It wasn't what I was expecting, for the better. You know, perfect. Like, you know, I was expecting, I don't even know what I was really expecting. Yeah. But I think I had the negative side more so than a positive. Not that my mother's negative at all. Yeah. But just the case of like the negative connotations and stigma that mental health has, especially again in the black community. Yeah. It was like, okay, how's she going to take this? And she's actually fine. You know, and so she's my number one fan. Now she'll be like, oh, they're talking about mental health on Loose Women or this morning. They're like, okay, Mum, I don't have a TV room, so I can't watch it. She came to one of my events, Time to Change champion, and she came to one of my events and had me sobbing in the first 3 seconds of me talking. Like, I could do this talk all day long. Yeah. Then looking at her, it was like the floodgates just opened up, and she's now a Time to Change champion herself. So she's really blessed. She's really shout out to your mum. Yeah. Just a quick, step away from that. Why do you not have a television? Too negative. Yeah. Like I was consuming too much channels that were just what I didn't need to watch, basically. Yeah. Like, even to the point where now my friend, she's like, oh yeah, I've been watching I won't say the certain TV program, which is all about people being ill. I was like, no, you watch too much of that, and then your subconscious mind is actually thinking that it's okay to be ill, and that's the way how I look at it. And there are a lot of triggers in certain programs, a lot of triggers, and that's what they're made for. They're made for you to come back to watch them again. And so my thing is that I've done so much of that, I've watched so much of it, and I realised that because they tried to make it so true to life as well. Yes, it's like, wow, is this what I didn't need any more negativity. Yeah. So I was like, okay, one way to get rid of that, and that's not to have a TV. So I watch Netflix and whatever the case may be, you watch it, but I choose to watch what I want to watch. If I want to watch a bit, and even if I start watching a movie and it starts to become a bit like there's too much triggers in there for me, I'm turning it off. You switch off. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, it has to be, depending what mood I'm in, very light-hearted or romantic or whatever that. However, I watch a lot of comedy. Yeah, but if it starts to get too violent, I can't take it. I'm like, no. I hear you. And I just don't want to see it. Yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah, and that works for me. Yeah. So that and listening to the radio. So I've got not a deal, but an arrangement with my best friend. Yeah. If I need to hear anything, she sends me the news via my mobile or just phones me and lets me know. And then you've always got social media as well. So, and again, even with that, I've tried to minimise my contact time with social media, like what you were speaking about earlier, because of and filtering out a lot of things, a lot of people. I'm the same. Yeah, so a lot of people say, "Oh, did you see this?" Like, sorry, I must have missed your story, because I just I'm not on it. You're not here for it. Before now. Yeah. So let's go back then to you know you've done the bodybuilding, and then now you're on this journey, and here you are as a mindset and confidence coach. What was the in between? What led you to being where you are now? So spoke to my parents, best friend, whatever. Then I tried to go back to work in the September of 2015 and literally looked at the screen and it was like it was written in a different language. I literally left. Yeah. Got in contact with the union, converse with them, and then it boiled to that I was just going to resign.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I could. My confidence and self-esteem at that time was so low. I didn't think I could actually go back to class and the kids knowing what I had gone through.
Yeah.
My colleagues knowing what I'd gone through.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to be talking about me and, you know, laughing at me and thinking, how am I going to be a teacher again after what? So once again, the lack of education that yes, you can be diagnosed and yes, you can go back to whatever job you was doing before prior to that if you want to. But again, if someone had told me that at the time, maybe I would still be teaching.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that you were allowed, or not saying you were allowed, but I didn't think I could do that. Once again, the stigma. I thought my only option was to resign. So
do you miss it?
I don't miss it, and the reason why I don't miss it is because of what I'm doing now.
Right. Amazing.
So that being said, I'm going to come to that. So I resigned, and I then also decided that something else needed to change in my life. Once I pressed that button, it was like
go.
It's just felt like a weight had lifted.
Yeah.
Because remember what I said when I was in the gym, I didn't want to be happy because I was at work, and now I could actually be me, do me.
Yeah.
Whatever I wanted to do, no one can tell me
absolutely
nothing.
Free as a bird.
Free. So I thought, okay, what else can I change? And I had to evaluate my life.
Yeah.
And identify what are the things that I'm doing that are not good for me.
Yes.
And one of the things that I was doing was drinking.
Yes.
Alcohol. I was drinking alcohol morning, noon,
copious amounts. Yeah.
It was like I was drinking it in a hot drink, and because it was only me at home, no one was there to monitor.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah, like everybody is. When I say this, even I never forget the first time my best friend, I did a talk at a organisation, she was there filming me, and when I said this, she was like, I didn't even know any of that.
Yeah.
So you saying that, trust me, how's anybody gonna know?
Yeah.
No one was in my house apart from my son.
Yeah.
And even when we were in the house together, I'm in my room, he's in his room.
Yeah.
So I'm not walking around just like drunk or anything, but I'm just there. You're
just drinking.
Just drinking.
Yeah. Wow.
So I said, all right, this has got to stop. And it was a hard. From what I can remember, and once again, this is something that has been like literally gone a blank in my mind. But I decided that I was going to give up drinking. And I wouldn't say it's not funny, but the funniest thing that happened was the November of 2015, I had my first international bodybuilding competition.
Wow.
And my aunts and my cousin and my mum came along. We were late for the plane because we was in duty free.
Yeah.
Like literally buy that. Broken bottle. We were breaking bottles because we was running so much and dropping.
Oh my goodness!
Come home and then decide I don't want to drink anymore.
Yeah,
so literally to this day, I've still got the bottles of alcohol in my cupboard.
Wow,
still there. I said no, this has got to change. And another disclaimer: I decided that I wanted to, and I say these disclaimers because I don't want people to think, oh yeah, I can go and do this. Like
it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah,
basically.
So basically, what I did is I decided I'm going to wean myself with the medication. Spoke to my doctor, wasn't too keen, but I thought, you know what, I need to do this for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I kept on stopping and having to start, so I kept on going back, because every time you stop and start, you go back to, it's like snakes and ladders, you go back down and have to start again. And I was thinking, do you know what, I'm just going to go back down and start again fresh.
Yeah.
No alcohol, no medication, just fresh. So I started 2016 fresh.
It's like you went cold turkey. Wow.
Cold turkey. And when you talk about it, it's like, wow. You know, on Insta you see these signs where people say, I'm 7 months sober, and I never really do that because it's like it's just done with now. I've been this has been 5 years in the next few months.
Wow.
5 years sober, of both medication and alcohol.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
And I feel like this is something else that even as a black community we don't like honour our wins.
Yeah.
We don't sing about our wins enough.
Yeah.
And so that is a big win.
It is. It's huge. It's huge.
Big win.
You know, essentially you were dependent on these things. You felt you needed and had to be dependent on these things, and now what you're saying is I realise I don't have to be. I got this, and it's been 5 years that I've had this. So congratulations, because it's not easy. It's not easy to admit that to yourself. It's not easy to go and look for the help. It's not easy to then do it, and it's certainly not easy to achieve it. So you're right, we need to congratulate ourselves and then celebrate these wins. So 5 years sober, alcohol and medication, mate, that's a win. It's a big win.
and like I'm still able to go out with my friends and have a good time.
Yeah.
I pour drinks, I'm around drinks. I don't have that issue that I can't be. Like, you can't drink around me. It's fine. I'm fine with it. If that's your pleasure. I'm not one. I don't judge.
Yeah.
So if that's what you choose to do, that's you.
Yeah.
I'll be here for you to carry you back.
Yeah.
I get the jokes. People are. But anyway, so that's that journey. So 2016 started. So what am I going to do for 2016? I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on my journey now, a fresh journey of identifying, educating myself now about the facts around mental health. What is this? What have I got? Why are they telling me that I've got mental health? So I started to do the mental health first aid courses for adults, for youth, and then I also became a personal trainer, and I met a friend who said to me, all these things that you're doing, and you should give this back to the community. And how do I do this? And like, he mentioned about community interest company. So did my research and so I can do this. Not too sure what it is, but I can do this. So then I formed a community interest company. And so in 2016, Focus on Creating Your Ultimate Self, CIC, was born.
2016?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
why did I think it was the other day?
No, because I tell you why you probably think it's the other day, because it's been since 2016.
Yeah.
But a lot has happened in between that time. And because it's just me.
Yes.
I'm trying to juggle everything. So something might give, and that something it was that, and then I'm picking it back up again. So 2016, that was born. And why was it called? And it's such a long title, but it was. I didn't just want to have an organisation name that just was a name. It needed to resonate and mean something to me. And a word that people kept on saying, you need to focus. Oh, you need to focus. Okay, I get it. And so that word just kept on popping up. So I thought, I'm now the acronym queen, because I can make an acronym out of everything. So focus was the word, and so that's what Focus on Creating. All right, your doesn't fit into it, but to make it make sense, it had to have yourself. And when I started to focus on me, not my son, not my friends, not my family, but focus on myself. So much things started to happen. Like,
I can
imagine. The world was just like, wow, I can do this. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what resonated with me, and it can resonate with anybody. Focus can mean anything to anybody, and I've got I am focused on. So when I work with my young people, I get them to finish off that sentence. I am focused on. So
so tell us, to go back a little bit. So it's called Focus on Creating Your Ultimate Self. Is that right? So what does that involve? How do people get involved in it? What age group get involved in it? And what exactly do you do under that umbrella?
Okay, so that's the CIC was originally set up to educate and empower individuals about the benefits and importance of physical and mental health.
Okay.
So in short, basically educating people about what I had learned about what the effects of physical activity does for your mental health.
Right, okay.
And it was for individuals, for anybody, but then over the years we've changed it. So really this year it's come into more of an effect that is primarily for BAME young women and girls.
Okay.
And
do you have an age bracket?
Yeah, so from 14 to 24.
Okay.
And not everybody likes the terminology BAME, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So if I don't mean to offend anybody, I don't mean to feel like it's just a term.
Yeah.
But if, for my black and brown girls out there, literally, that want to get into health and fitness. And now we're being more, basically feels like I'm starting from scratch with it, because I feel now I'm an educational centre now as well. We've just been accredited to be able to deliver the Community Sports Leaders Award, level 2 and level 1 and level 2. I'm in talks now with plans to deliver the gym instructor.
Wow.
And train people to become personal trainers as well.
Because
there's not enough brown and black young women and girls in the industry. Because, come on, when you open a magazine... I know when I open those magazines, I can't flick through and see anybody that looks like me.
Yep.
So if I can promote that and help young women and girls get into that industry in whatever shape or form they want to get into it, then someone's got to do it.
It's
not even that someone's got to do
amazing.
it, but I want to do it, and I've got to start somewhere, and so that's where I'm starting from. So it's a self-funded, not self-funded. It's a fully funded organisation, and
I love it. Listen, we're going to come back after the ads and talk some more to Andrea Corbett. Keep it locked.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Are you looking for that feel-good music? The kind of music that makes you want to share with your friends? Then you've been looking for iLive Radio, your #1 source for music lovers worldwide, playing a variety of hits from soul, reggae, gospel, jazz, hip-hop, funk, and everything in between. Download the iLive Radio app now and listen to us when you're on the go. Available on iTunes and the Google Play Store. You can also listen live on TuneIn and Alexa. iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Hey, yo, what's going on, good people? This is Black Mav here, and I'm rocking with iLive Radio, doing it one time for the culture around the world. Yeah.
This is Blanche J, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Nathaniel Starr, and you're on iLive Radio, where independent artists from around the world get a chance to shine. Let's get it.
You're listening to iLive Radio. iLive Radio.
iLive Radio. Changing the way you listen to radio.
This is iLive Radio UK, and you're listening to Get Amplified with Charley Jai. Charley Jai. Charley Jai.
iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. You're the same, my candy red.
Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you died, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. Cause you are my love. Do you ever dream of a day? Cold or rain. Oh, the same, my candy red. My love, did you ever dream that it could be so right? I never thought that I would find all that I need in life. All I want, all I need. Now I know I found it in you. I found it in you. 'Cause you are my love. Do you ever dream? Don't you ever dream? Cold or rain. Tell me how, if you ever love someone. My candy red. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you died, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. Cause you are my love. Do you ever dream of a day? Cold or rain. Oh, the same, my candy red.
You know what? I like to play it. No diggity, no doubt. Play on, play it. Play on, play it. Yo, Dre, drop the verse.
It's going down, face of Black Street. The homies got at me, collab creations. Bump like agony, no doubt. I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit can vouch, a dog couldn't catch me. Say out. Tell me who could stop with Dre making moves, attracting honeys like a magnet, giving them orgasms with my mellow accent. Still moving this flavor with the homies Black Street and Teddy, the original rough shakers.
Shutting it down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town. Strictly bitch, you don't play around. Cover much grounds, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day. True play away, I can't get her out of my mind. Wow, I think about the girl all the time. Wow. The east side to the west side, push a fat rise, it's no surprise. She got tricks in the stash, stacking up the cash, fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average, it's on when she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10. I wanna get in. Can I get down so I can? I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. Girl. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I got to bag it up.
She's got class and style, street knowledge by the time. Baby never act wild, very low key on the profile. Can catching feelings is a no. Let me tell you how it goes. Curves the word, spins the verb. Lovers hit curves so freak what you heard. Rolling with the fatness, you don't even know what the half is. You got to pay to play just for shorty bang bang to look your way. I like the way you work it, trump tight all day, every day. You're blowing my mind, maybe in time, baby, I can get you in my ride.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up, I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up, babe. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. You know that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. You're my kind of girl. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
That's my peeps, and we rose deep, flying first class from New York City to Blackstreet. What you know about me? Now the thing, Cartier wooded frame sported by my shorty. As for me, icy gleaming pinky diamond ring. We bees the baddest click up on this scene. Ain't you getting bored with these fake broads? How shows improves, no doubt. I've been thinking so. Please excuse if I come across rude. That's just me, and that's how a player's got to be. Stay kicking game with a capital G. Ask the peoples on my block, I'm as real as can be. Word is born, faking moves never been my thing. So Teddy, pass the word to your again Chauncey. I'll be sending the call, let's say around 3:30. Queen Pen and Black.
I like the way you work it, no diggity. I got to bag it up.
Yeah, man. I hope you're liking the way we're working it on the show today. It's Get Amplified with me, Charlie J. You're locked in listening to iLive Radio UK. The time now is 6:18 p.m. I've just said to my guest, Andrea, where does the time go? If you're just joining us, we're very happy to have you. You just heard the sounds of Blackstreet featuring Dr. Dre with No Diggity. Before that, Soul For Real with Candy Rain, a firm fave of mine. And you had Janet Jackson with When I Think of You. So Andrea and I have been talking a lot about mental health. That's the focus of the show this week. Mental health and emotional well-being. And like I said, if you've just joined us, you would have missed a little bit about Andrea. The fact that she is a mindset and confidence coach. And she is where she is today because she had her own struggle with mental health. She's overcome that. She's survived that. She's winning with that. And she's really using all of her experience and expertise and the continued research and knowledge that she has to help others, especially those in the black and brown community, to help themselves navigate their way through successfully overcoming any battles with mental health. So, girl, it's a lot of information you've been giving us so far, but I'm here for it. Sometimes it can be overwhelming and it can be, just a world of info, but it's so necessary. You're an educator first and foremost, and so I know that means the world to you to be able to just to educate people in a way that you wasn't educated.
Definitely. So just starting where we left off about Focus CIC.
Yeah, please, great.
I just wanted to make you aware that when I was advised about setting up the CIC, I always thought, like, how am I going to be able to set up my own CIC as a black woman? That's setting up a business. I didn't really have any knowledge about setting up my own business. I didn't have any knowledge that I thought that you needed money, and it was all these I wouldn't say excuses, but all these things that I put into my way of thinking that how could I set up an organisation? But I did, and I'm so grateful that I did set up the organisation. I'm so grateful that I overcome those inner critics, as I call them, of trying to tell me that, you can't do this because of this, or you can't do this because of that.
Yeah.
And I feel, unfortunately, like a lot of, I say black women because I can speak for black women, but go through that. Oh no, I'm not, or even just women in general, I'm not going to go for that role because I don't have this, or I'm not going to do that because, no, my new mantra is done, not perfect. And what that means is just do it.
Yeah.
How are you going to know what perfect is, or even close to perfect, unless you actually start to do it? So my whole point of starting the CIC was, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Whatever happens, I don't know how to do funding. I never filled out a funding form before, but I'm just going to do it.
I love that.
And that's literally
nothing to lose, potentially everything to gain. So why not? We get one shot at this life, man.
This is it. And if it means that I can help more people, then me doing something that I've never done, is all worth it. And luckily, it has been all worth it. So I set up the CIC in 2016. Like I said, it's a funded organisation. So if there's anybody listening and funding, hint, no, but on the real, it's a funded organisation, and I'm so glad I did that. And then I went on to do more work with young people. So I remember I resigned because I didn't think I could ever work with young people again. And then I was headhunted by a local authority who wanted me to then take young people to the gym.
Wow.
Like,
amazing.
You're going to pay me to do this.
Amazing.
So literally, long story short, I had to set up as a service provider for that. So that's where Andrea Corbett Limited come from.
Wonderful.
And they literally just wanted me to take young people to the gym. It wasn't to lose weight, it was just to give them another avenue of, to express themselves. And so I turned that into the youth fitness mentoring program. So it wasn't just about taking them to the gym. For me, I created a workbook for them and asked them that all important question: how are you? How was your day? Because for a lot of them, they would have had like a really bad day, or they would have had somebody ask them that question. So that was what we always started with. And I've had some sessions whereby the session never actually happened because I asked them how their day had gone or how they were feeling, and that led to them just revealing. And when I say revealing, it wasn't a safeguarding issue, but just talking, just getting off their chest,
opening up.
And so that was there. I love doing that, and I still do that occasionally. So that got me back into thinking, okay, I can actually do this work. And that built my confidence. And again, when I resigned, my confidence levels were so low, my self-esteem levels were so low, but being able to set up a CIC, not knowing how to do that, that built my confidence. The youth fitness mentoring program, again, that built my confidence. Funding forms, oh my gosh, that was great. What else is there? So that's just been an ongoing, and now up to today, most present, doing the coaching. Oh, I love that so much. Being able to, and I work primarily with women, so being able to see a woman come in and not understand that they actually need coaching, and then watch their journey and see them just grow and grow and grow. It's an amazing feeling, and that's all primarily based on my own lived experience. And so yes, I have a qualification in coaching, but that's not what I'm using really. That's just for mainly like the terminology that you have to use, but I can empathise with these women, and we may have gone down a different route, but their journey is quite similar. And because of all the different things that I have gone through, whether it be finances, and we didn't even touch on that. So imagine resigning and having a fairly good job being paid to not having any money at all. So I went through my own issues with finances, and that's another thing we don't talk about as a community. I'm broke. No, I was broke. I was broken and broke. Finances, family issues, like I spoke about briefly about my son, resigning from work, not having a job, so I had to find my purpose in life again. And so being able to do that for myself, come on now, being able to do this now for other people,
beyond fulfilling. Tell us a little bit about what that involves. What does it mean to be a mindset and confidence coach? Kind of give us maybe a brief breakdown of what that involves. If somebody's listening and they think that that's something that they might need or want to tap into or learn more about, what's involved?
So I had to build my mindset. So I went from a fixed mindset of, oh no, I can't do this or I can't do that. A lot of I can'ts and a lot of doubting myself and a lot of listening to my inner critic, to go into something which we call a growth mindset. Okay, I'm going to give that a go. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a go, and just really thinking about things in a more positive way. Doing a lot for my mindset. Self-care. Saying the word no. That is a growth mindset for me, because I wasn't able to say the word no. If someone asks, I'll do it. So now I'm able to do that, and showing women and showing people in general that you know is a full sentence.
Yeah.
So just whatever mindset means to that individual person. So it could be their financial mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be their lifestyle mindset. It could be something their career mindset. So my services is based on what the individual needs. And I'm doing a lot of work around the confidence. So whether it be someone that need help in speaking in public, because I do a lot of public speaking, and standing on stage in a 2-piece bikini is you need confidence in that. So that has gone from me thinking I couldn't even go back into a classroom, to me standing on stage internationally, nationally, locally, and presenting myself to basic strangers, you know, and also doing the public speaking, which I love doing. So
you've come so far. It's incredible. For anybody that wants to maybe tap into your services or just learn a bit more about you or follow the continued journey, I'm conscious of time, let us know your website, let us know your social media, just so that if people do want to, they can tap into what it is you're doing.
Just briefly before I mention that,
of course,
there's another thing that I do as well, so a lot around resilience, because that is something that I really had to work on. So I've got a 7-step program called the Bounce Forward. So if anybody needs to know, so basically I'm setting up a safe space for black women to teach them how to bounce forward and how we've gone through so many challenges. You can catch me on Andrea Corbett _ on Instagram, Facebook as well, which is Andrea Corbett. But my main social media is Instagram. I'm changing up my website, but it is at andreacorbett.com. Email contact@andreacorbett.com. And I've just started, and I know we've got time, but I've just started a new initiative, which is a new movement.
Yes.
With my friend Chantel, aka Miss Coco London. Big shout out to you. So basically, what is the catwalk? The catwalk is primarily for people of colour, to educate them about the physical and mental health, but in a way that we also have a podcast that we've set up, which is amplifying. Amplifying. This month has been about amplifying black women in the UK.
I love it.
And so, but not just women in the UK, but women that have become invisible.
Yes.
So we're trying to make them visible.
Yeah.
So we started off with a lady called Sharon Atkin, who just disappeared. If anybody knows about politics, she was started about 30 years ago with Diane Abbott, and now she just
suddenly so disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, hello,
where is she? Like, doing the research on her, finding pictures on her. But anyway, then Claudia Jones. So there's just different women. So we've got 4 women that we've been doing it. So if you want to follow the catwalk, we've got our own handle for the catwalk movement MVMT. So the catwalk MVMT,
and that's on Instagram. Amazing.
But if you go to my page, Andrea Corbett, there's a link on there anyway. Go there, sign up, please. Listen, we want to create a movement. We want to create a community. And there's so much more to say.
There is a lot. We might have to do a part two, but we have been talking quite a lot. I do appreciate that it's been loaded, and I also apologise for that, but it's necessary. These conversations don't happen enough, and this is the show, Get Amplified, where they're going to happen. But we are going to give you a bit of a breather and maybe have some fun. It's time for us to play a little game. So what we're going to do, Miss Andrea, don't worry, it's not difficult, it's not challenging. Normally what I do is I give people like actual questions relating to their field, but that hasn't gone down well because a lot of people just don't know the answers. You kind of think that people are going to know everything about their industry, and then you realise, no, they don't, Charlie. So you need to stop that. You need to leave them alone. So all I'm going to do, my friend,
this is a nervous laugh,
It's called First Thought That Comes to Mind. And I thought that was apt, that title. We've got the word mind in there. Obviously, we're focusing on mental health primarily. And it's just 8 things I'm going to ask you. And you just have to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Literally. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, so bodybuilding. Bodybuilding. First thing that comes to your mind when I say that word.
Andrea Corbett. British champion. We didn't even mention that part.
There you go.
British champion and IFBB Elite Pro.
There you go. Okay, Instagram.
social media that you should I don't even know what to say. Oh my god, I'm on the spot.
There's no right or wrong.
Instagram has its good and its bad points.
Yeah.
You know, so detox from it as and when you feel is necessary, especially for your mindset on a real, like, Instagram, any social media. I think we should have breaks from it and not be on there constantly.
I'm with you, man. I mean, we spoke about that briefly. Yeah. I'm so with you. Okay, men's health
needs to be spoken about a lot more, especially black men's health.
100%. Body confidence
also needs to be spoken about. And for people with man or woman, male or female, you know, whatever gender you are, claim to be, just love the body that you're in.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
People should respect that.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's enough respect going on when it comes to people's body image, body confidence.
Yeah.
And I know for myself, I've had like negative comments just because I'm muscular.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've been brought to tears.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, to the point where in the beginning I was literally on the verge of giving it all up.
I'm so glad you didn't.
So am I.
Oh my goodness, those people. Black Minds Matter
also needs to be spoken about a lot more because black minds do matter so much, and it's been brushed under the carpet as if, you know, and it's been given a negative stigma as well.
Yeah, it has been big time. There is, I think it's on Instagram. There is an organisation or a group, or there is something that literally is for black minds. I haven't tapped into it enough. I haven't done enough research. I can't share any information on it just yet, but I'll try and do that in a future show. But I thought it would be interesting to get your perspective on that.
And can I just
of course you can go for it,
especially when it comes to black minds matter, black minds in general. When it comes to like medication or diagnosis, we're disproportionately, you know, lower in terms of what we're being given and what access we have. And so this is why another reason why I do the education, because you don't have to be just given medication. If you're on the low end of the spectrum, you can be given talking therapy, which is not always, you know, given at the point, and people don't always know that. So, you know, when I had another issue with binge eating, I said to them, I don't want medication, I want talking therapy. Because I actually now know that I can actually ask for that. And it is
so glad you touched on that. So glad. Within so many different boroughs, there is a talking therapy centre or hub or something that you can tap into. So, for example, there is Newham Talk Therapies for anybody that might live in Newham. So, you know, for your borough, just go on Google. Maybe your borough is Tower Hamlets, for example. Type in Tower Hamlets Talking Therapies. See if you find anything, if that can be beneficial to you. Okie dokie. Parenthood.
There should be a book that needs to be written. But I love it. It's the best job that I wouldn't even say job, but, you know, the best position that I could be in. I love my son, and he's taught me a lot. So being a parent has literally saved my life.
I love it. Just two more. Music.
It gets me going when I need to. Like, it has its moments. I don't listen to it all the time, but when I do, my neighbours know I do.
I'm the same, and my neighbours deserve to know with what they put me through, but that's another chat for another show. And finally, self-love.
Oh, I wish that someone had told me about that a lot sooner. Like, self-love is so important, and I make sure that I make time for myself all the time. And everybody should. And you know, I don't have the time to do this. Find the time, because when when it hits the fan, you will know about knowing to make time, and don't make time when it's too late. You know, make time now.
I hear you on that. I'm very, very big on self-love and self-care. I am my priority. There is no one that I love more than I love myself, and I prioritize my entire emotional well-being. I really do. When I'm telling people that I'm switching off one day a week to look after my physical self, from hot baths to meditating and all that, some people are like, wow, you're really doing that? If I can take the time to go and meet someone for a jolly or an afternoon tea or whatever it might be, why can't I find the time to look after me? So twice a week, in fact, because I do the social media detox, sometimes my phone goes off. It's off the whole day. And that freaks people out. They're like, what, you keep your phone off the whole day? Yeah, I do. And I don't miss it. I'm not thinking of my phone when it's off because I'm busy reading or I'm writing or I'm meditating or I've gone for a walk. I'm out there with nature. I'm watching squirrels. Do you know what I'm saying? You see things that you didn't know were there, and it's right on your doorstep because you've just put your phone down.
And that's exactly what the catwalk movement is about, educating people to go on these walks, to just go out in nature, take time for yourself. Don't go on the walk because you're commuting. Make that time, 15-20 minutes to say, I'm going to go on a walk for me. And I feel that is so important.
I love it.
And I do that. And people say, one more thing, sorry.
No, go for it. Don't be sorry.
How do you find time in the mornings to do everything? Because as soon as I get up, which I'm grateful for, I do my meditation. Depending on what I've got to do for the day depends on how long I do my meditation for. Do my gratitude.
Yes, I'm big on
that. Write my gratitude list, write out my goals. And really, that's my. I do self-care every day.
That's a point, actually. I have a gratitude jar, gratitude journal. Like, I'm all over the gratitude.
I've made my own journal.
I'm like, and the thing is, you legitimately become deeply grateful for everything. Things that you didn't even think about before, that you took for granted, or that because they're just there, you just get on with it. It's amazing.
So a new thing that I've added, so that people could do as well. Like when I write my gratitude list, I always say, right now, in the next 24 hours, I'm going to hear some good news. And then in the next morning, I have to think about whatever I think was good news. I write that. So you always remind you, even though I'm writing the gratitude list, I always got to remember that daily something pops up that is good news for me. So
I love it. Andrea Corbett, I'm so glad that you've come on the show. This has been a great conversation. We definitely have to do a part 2 because I know there's so much more that you wanted to cover that obviously time is against us. And I appreciate you playing my little game, First Thought That Comes to Mind. I hope you enjoyed yourself playing that game. We're going to get into some music now. This one is Teo Cruz, I Just Wanna Know.
Going on, cause lately we ain't been spending time alone. Last night when I touched your hand, you didn't wanna hold, no. And today, no kiss goodbye, just said that you had to go. If you're leaving me, baby, I just wanna know. I just wanna know if you're done with me, baby. I just wanna know. I just wanna know. I just wanna know. Yeah. Listen, if you have something you wanna say, yeah, please don't hold it back. It'll come out someday. I'm strong enough to mend my broken heart. Oh yeah. If you say that you and I are better off apart, if you're leaving me, baby, I just wanna know. I just wanna know if you're done with me. I just wanna know. Strings. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just wanna know. I wanna know if you're leaving me, baby. I just wanna know. I just wanna know if you're done with me, baby. I just wanna know. I just wanna know if you're leaving me, baby. I just wanna know. I just wanna know if you're done with me, baby. I just wanna know. I just wanna know. I just wanna know. Yeah.
Yo, drop your glasses, shake it. Face screwed up like you having hot flashes. Which one? Pick one. This one classic. Red from blind, yeah. I'm drastic. Why this? Why that? Lip stop asking. Listen to me, baby, relax and start passing. Expressway, head back, weaving through the traffic. This one strong should be labeled as a hazard. Some of y'all top psych, I'm gassing. Clowns, I spot them and I can't stop laughing. Easy come, easy go, Evie gon' be lasting. Jealousy, let it go, results could be tragic. Some of y'all ain't writing well, too concerned with fashion. None of you ain't Giselle, can't walk and imagine. A lot of y'all Hollywood drama, cast it, cut camera off, real plastic.
I had to give you more. It's only been a year. Got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that yeah. Now let me blow your mind. They wanna take her, crank her, makes me a beat. Shake her, haters wanna come after me. You ain't gangster, prankster, too much to eat. Snakes in my path wanna stop at me.
Now while you gritting your teeth, frustration, baby, you got to breathe. Take a lot more than you to get rid of me. You see, I do what they can't do, I just do me. Ain't no stress when it comes to stage, get what you see. Meet me in the lab, pen and pad, don't believe. 16's mine, create my own lines. Love for my wordplay, that's hard to find. Sophomore, I ain't scared, one of a kind. All I do is contemplate ways to make your fans mine. Eyes bloodshot, stressing, chills up your spine. Sick to your stomach, wishing I wrote your rhyme.
I had to give you more. It's only been a year. Now I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that yeah. Now let me blow your mind.
Let your bones crack, your back pop, I can't stop. Excitement, block shots from your stash spot. Thugged out, I respect the cash route. Lockdown, blast this sets while I mash out. Yeah, mash out, D-R-E. Backtrack, think back, E-V-E. Do you like that? Yeah, you got to, I know you. Had you in the trance, first glance from the flow too. Don't believe I'll show you, take you with me. Turn you on, tension gone, give you relief. Put your trust in the born winner, listen to me. Damn, she much thinner, no, now I'm complete. Still styling on, brick house, pile it on, ride or die, double R, can't strong. Beware, cause I crush anything I land on. Me here ain't no mistake, it was planned on.
I had to give you more. It's only been a year. Now I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that good yeah. Now let me blow your mind.
One day, minding my own business, girl, fall back, won't keep her distance. She was all over me, just won't let it be. So I said to her, I've got a girl at home. This is so hard for me, but you gotta leave me alone. She said she didn't wanna listen to me, knew exactly what she wanted to be. My baby, I must admit that she was getting to me, waiting for me, wanted me to hold her oh so tight. Together, forever, wherever, whatever. They said she couldn't find nobody better, who wasn't gonna give up on me never. She said, ooh, you're looking so fly, every time you pass me by. I like the way you move your body. Girl, I must admit, you're looking real good. Just chill for a little bit, I know you wanna get with me. Girl, you know I'm not afraid. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. It seems like every day girl, you wanna be calling me. And when I step aside, you always follow me.
Listen to the one.
And when you talk like that, you know you're really to me. But I got a girl at home who'll do the same for me, and that's the way that it's gotta be, gotta be. So listen now, lady. Ooh, I like your profile, the way you talk and your smile. But you gotta understand, lady, I'm not cheating on my baby. Ooh, you know this ain't right. Come home to my girl tonight, and I'm sorry that we couldn't get it on, but the love from my girl's too strong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend.
Cause love, we got me golden. And you know you got me open. Since the day we started talking, you and I've had a special little something. When I wake up in the morning, girl, it would be you I'd be calling. Since I mentioned my phone, baby, doubling, but girlfriend, you know that money ain't a thing. It's who me, the one and only C-R-A-I-G. Come on, now let me deliver this properly, so the world can see that I ain't the type of guy. And why should I make my girlfriend cry? Can't deny the girl I met was real fly, but it's you that puts me on a natural high. So I just walked on by, saying my oh my, I ain't gonna let no other girl start troubling. Lose someone like you must be joking.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, let me hit it again. Come on, let me sing it again. Won't pretend, can be messing around with my girlfriend.
Craig David, Can't Be Messing Around. Big tune. I love it. Before that, you had Let Me Blow Your Mind, Eve featuring Gwen Stefani. And on top of that, you had I Just Want to Know by Teo Cruz. I'm Charlie Jai. You're locked in listening to Get Amplified on iLive Radio UK. The time now is 6:49 p.m. and it's been a packed 3-hour show. We've been focused on mental health and emotional well-being, a subject very close to my heart. And I've had in the studio with me the lovely Andrea Corbett, who is a mindset and confidence coach. And I just want to remind you guys that it may be helpful to you to speak about your mental and emotional well-being, okay? And if you can't do that with loved ones for whatever reason, you don't feel like you want to go to your doctor because you actually want to stay anonymous, you can do that through Mind, which is a charity. They have a support team and they've got a direct line now that you can contact the support team on. So that's 0208 215 2243. So that's Mind, the charity support team, 0208 215 2243. You can also contact Samaritans as well. Their direct line is 116 123 116 123, or you can email Joe at the Samaritans. So it's Joe at Samaritans.org, Joe at Samaritans.org. And Andrea, I want you to remind people how they can contact you, where they can find you on socials and of your website, because I know there's some information on there that could be helpful.
Yeah, so again on Instagram it's Andrea Corbett _, and if you go to my link tree, it has my website on there. It also has on there if you want to book a 30-minute free discovery call with myself.
Nice. Is the Linktree link in your Instagram?
Yeah, my
wonderful,
bio, yes.
wonderful. And it's Andrea Corbett, and that's double T on Corbett. Andrea Corbett _ on the Instagram. I love it.
And then also at the Catwalk MVMT if you want to subscribe to become a role model.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And like I said, I'm so chuffed that we've stayed in touch all these years. It's really, really, really amazing to have you in the studio and to be on my show today. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight, your knowledge, your wisdom, and for sharing all of that information that I'm sure will help someone.
Thank you for having me. And like you said, please find someone that you can have that non-judgmental conversation with.
Yeah.
Because it is vitally important.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much. And now I've got a treat for you. I don't usually do this, but she rocked up early as she always does, and I thought, why don't you come in the studio, girl, and tell the people them what go on your show. So I've got my girl Nita, the writer, in the studio. She's coming up at 7 p.m. with her show Catch a Vibe. Lady, what can we expect on your show today?
Well, today I'm literally on that old school R&B vibe.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing a writing session where I'll be doing the R&B, and I'll be taking it back, the memories, the vibe from old school R&B. I'm going to be in my element today, I tell you.
I love it. Her show really is a vibe. So if you're needing to catch a vibe, especially after my heavy 3-hour show on mental and emotional well-being, which I can respect and appreciate, keep it locked. From 7 until 9, you've got Nita, the writer, with Catch a Vibe, and it's always an amazing show. I tell you what I like about it the most is that my girl sings at the top of the show. You need to hear that. I'm trying to learn the lyrics to that one. And then she's actually creating music on the show with her guest. It's remarkable. So make sure you keep it locked to iLive Radio UK. And for anyone that might not know, you can always get involved with the show, okay? And you can do that anonymously. You can call us on 0208 638 8503. You can jump on the live chat stream on the website uk.iliveradio.com, and you can send a text to our WhatsApp number 07564 265 257. If you want to find out where the presenters are and what they're up to outside of radio, you can follow us across all social media, iLive UK. That's it from me for this week. I'm also on social media, by the way, at Charley J UK. I'm then bigging up everybody else, and then I now big up myself. But yeah, that's it for this week. Next week is going to be an interesting show. I've got a gentleman coming on the show, and I have said before, I'm not about famous people, you know, that have got the platforms already and they've got, you know, everything going. But this particular individual, who's a friend of mine and is very well known, recently just did a collaboration with Asher D. He's all for talking about his music, but he's not necessarily all for talking about himself. And this man has such an insight into life in general. He's a young black man from Ghana, and I just want him to come and share who he is on this show, because I do know that it will inspire people in a number of ways. So I'm not going to say too much more on it other than that, but join me next week Tuesday from 4 p.m. because you will love that show, I'm pretty sure. I've got what is this note here? There's a note beside me and I'm reading it as I'm talking to you, but it's the wrong note. You know, I made my own notes for the show, innit? I'm like, what is that? Have I missed something? And also, for the person that messaged me earlier, I've put my phone away, so I can't remember who it was, but somebody messaged me about the recommendations. The only reason why I didn't share any recommendations with you this week, and I think I've put the paper in the bin, I'm so sorry. But the only reason why I didn't share recommendations this week is because I really wanted to give Andrea the time to share her wealth of experience and knowledge and tell her story. I think it's so important and so special and so unique, and we're so blessed to have someone like Andrea come in the studio and openly, candidly, in detail, tell you about her own mental health battle, especially being a black and brown woman. So for me, that was priority. So I do apologize for those of you who love the recommendations. I'll come back with them next week. But for this week, you get one, because the paper that I put in the bin, I can see the part 2. So I kind of know what I was going to say. So I can give you one, and it's still in line with mental health. It's positive interactions. That's my recommendation for you, yeah? Conversations, online connections, different ways of physically greeting people. I know this COVID thing has people fuming. You can do elbow taps and foot taps and whatever else, man. But the music you listen to, having plants in your home. Even if you don't like real plants, go and get a faux plant. Because actually, those things, they do wonders. Do you know what I mean? So that's my recommendation, and a daily morning routine. It doesn't matter what time you get up, okay? You might get up at midday. That's not for me, but it might be for you, and that's cool. But have a routine. Have a routine that is focused on your self-care and your well-being. Don't just get up and go, because getting up and go doesn't give you time to appreciate who you are in that moment, doesn't give you time to be present, doesn't give you time to connect with you, doesn't give you time to tap into your mind. I could go on. Don't just get up and go. Find a morning routine. Just quickly, my morning routine involves I read a scripture from the Bible, I pray, I meditate, I do my workout. My workout is saving my life, and not just physically and emotionally, but mentally, because it calms me. It boosts the endorphins. You know, Andrea was talking about that earlier. So give yourself a morning routine and take your time with your breakfast. That is something I can't stress enough. Have breakfast, but take your time with it. Don't guzzle it down and hoover it down. These times you don't even know what it tasted like. So be connected with the food that you're eating. That's part of your self-care. But again, it calms your mind and it calms your body. It gives you the best possible start to the day. You're more likely to have a positive day if you have a morning routine and you take your time with it than if you get out of bed and you just rush and you just go out into the world and do whatever it is you need to do. Everything will pile on top. So those are my recommendations. And I hope that's cool for the person that wanted those recommendations earlier and I didn't give them. Anyway, keep it locked. I've got some music for you, but up next, you're going to get the ads and then you're going to get the beautiful Nita, the writer, with her brilliant show, Catch a Vibe, from 7 until 9. Stay safe. God bless.
Oh yeah. So it's a road, don't be me, got to be moving on. I could be a typical kind of girl, wasting my time. That ain't my style. See, I would rather be occupied, always trying to keep my mind pointed to a higher plane. Oh, I can have anything I want, anything I can dream of. I've been told from the day I was born, yeah. Oh yeah. So I make sure every day that I don't let nothing hold me back. Got to be on track. I gotta move. Don't fit me. Got to be moving on, yeah. Cause if it don't work for me, guess I'll be. Hey, I could take liberties, but that would cause me to change, and that ain't my thing. Cause I don't wanna stand with the crowd, only true to myself. Don't have to follow no one else, yeah. Not trying to be alone,